Hi, Moxie. Good morning. Good morning. Man, you need an intro. Nah, dude, I raw dog that shit. Coming in raw, coming in hot. Or rather nice and cold. Moxie, it's too early for that shit. Stop it. Go away. Stop. Go. This is my intro. Moxie, get out of here. It's too early for that. Go. Okay, so what am I doing today? I think I was gonna try and, one, fix the zone entrances right quick. And then also look into this, average distance to closest neighbors function that's, drawing some very eye-shaped patterns in my world. See if I can figure that stuff out. Okay, so looking at the... Let's build this first. Looking at the zone entrances issue. So here are my color maps here. Which one do I put the zone entrances in? Dude, they're roofing the house next to me, and like... I don't know, can you guys hear that on stream? Yeah, I guess you can kind of a little bit. I don't know, how bad is that? It's like, I'm in a 2-story house, and it's like literally right on the other side of that wall. And it's a 1-story house, so the people roofing are like literally at right at my level. It was not fun trying to sleep in a little bit this morning. Started right at, you know, at a nice conservative 7 a.m. Very nice of them to do that. No, we're good with the editors. Just leave that there for now. I need to look at my zone entrance stuff. Calculate zone border entrances. Okay, and so it's the world chunk biome map. Okay, so this is the one that I display in the UI. And it also happens to be the one that I get the altitude from. So this is get chunk 01 color value. I should probably just use the black-white world map pixel data. Okay, so let's see if that gets rid of those giant ass fucking mountains. Wait, why is this so high? What the hell? This is not the state that I left it in. What the heck? Uh-oh. What have I done? What have I done here? I mean, I guess, let me actually, maybe it's because I changed. Yeah, the altitude is much different now. Okay, I'm gonna have to adjust some of my values. I should have probably been using. So let me look at the black-white map here. Okay, well now I'm actually getting values that range from 0 to 1. God damn it, I should have been doing this the whole time. I should have done this first. Dad gummit, as my dad would say. Oh, I'm gonna have to change all those values again. Okay, we're back to tinkering. This is Tinkertown, once again. Okay, so we're gonna get values between 0 and 1 now. So, and then I guess, what's like my low range now? God damn, it got some high altitude. Really, my low range is 0.2. There's not very many that is below 0.2. Oh, there's a 0.07. Hey, what's up, Silent Wolf? Good morning. How you doing? Welcome, welcome. There's a 0.08. So we have very, very few are below. So it's really like my low range may be now below like 0.3 or 0.2 or something. Yeah. Just look at, goddamn. Look at these ones here. Those are all pretty. These are like 0.38 and shit, you know. So let's go below 0.3 is like. Well, there's a sharp fall off from those. There's one at 0.21, and then it goes straight to 0.09 in the next one. Let me look over there. They're blending nicely. They are blending quite nicely. I'm still seeing that pattern though. Okay, so yeah, I'm thinking below 0.3, so I want to shift these over. Can I use arrow keys? No, I can't. Shift that over. Alright, let's see what that does. Let's see what it looks like. Okay, still quite high in these areas. Good lord, the fucking roofers, man. Oh yeah, that's nice and loud on the stream. We love that. We love that. Jesus Christ. I actually want more. I want more. Give me more. And so I believe it's the offset I need to scoot over a little bit more here. Scoot that over one more click. Yes. Dude, can they finish up with that roof, please? I'm sorry, guys, but that's fucking so, like, if you guys can hear it on the stream, like, imagine how loud it is for me. That's great. That's great. Everything's fine. Maybe I should have skipped the morning stream. Okay, this is getting better. It's getting a little better. My coastline is very straight now. It's still too high. over there, but I think maybe our lowlands area is okay now. Oh, that's too much for me right now. How bad is it on stream though? Like, is it bad? If it makes the stream bad, I'll mess with it. But eh. Let's see. Okay. That seems to have worked. Let me know if that if you guys catch the roofers. I kind of want to just delete this one now, and then scoot the over. Then I wanted where was 0.7, 0.8. But really, I want to move this one. This is the offset curve. Yeah, I want to move that. Delete that one. Move this one like all the way down. I specifically set up my noise gate to catch the my keyboard keystrokes because I think it's a really satisfying sound to hear a streamer typing. So I've probably cut those out now. Dude, what is happening? I think it's crazy. Yeah, that's so great. Some of them are very sharp. Like that has a very sharp pattern on it. Well, we'll get that figured out eventually. Yeah, this is still I don't have enough middle ground. So let me look at my map here. What is the I feel like middle ground should actually be quite a wide range. It should be probably anything from like 0.3, 0.4, all the way up to like 0.75, I think. I want my middle ground to be. So this is, what is this going from? 0.7 to 0.8 is now flat? I don't know. Change that to like there. This, maybe take that down a notch. Now my curve. Make it like that, maybe. Maybe a little too much offset between, what is it? That is 0.5. Do that. Multiplier seems like it could be fine. Okay, this is looking... I've got some more milk down here. I can definitely tell, like, for this zone, lower down here, higher up here. There's very little water now, though. It's kind of sad. Maybe probably it's the offset that is getting rid of the water. So I guess I could take this down a bit. Take that down to like 0.5, 0.05. A little bit, yeah, a little bit more water. That's good. That's good. Okay, let me go over to border. We need to check that out. Okay, so here's the red area that we were just in, and this would be the cyan. Again, hard to see the border. Another thing I wanted to tinker with a little bit as well is the border is also just adding an offset on top of, like, it just adds. It just adds. So theoretically, got some gaps. Okay, that's good. Just different LOD gaps. That is okay. Yeah, what I want to do actually, let me turn on the colors. Let me turn on the colors. If I can remember where to do that at. I know where it's at. My brain is still waking up. Pop over here. This way we can actually see where the zones are ending and what their noise is and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean the border, like, especially like right here, the border just kind of gets lost, right? And you could just walk straight over that. And I want like actual like cool entrances and paths going to in between biomes of different altitudes and stuff like that. So if you could imagine, rather than just like having some random mountains that you could like kind of randomly find your way up on, like there would actually be a path cut through here that would steadily take you into the next zone. I think I may want to turn this multiplier down a bit to, let's go 1.25. But it does make things quite jagged. See, now these zones kind of all look the same now because of that. Maybe okay. What do I have here? 0.75 for red, but 0.8, 0.9 for this blue. This cyan one is all 1. There's a huge area of 1 down here, and we saw that. Like this whole area is just like highest altitude. Go somewhere close to that so we can see. I'm trying to find an area with like some difference in altitude. Good change in altitude. Probably the fastest altitude changes somewhere over here. Again, once I fix the noise, it'll look better as well. So maybe I should do that first, too. Yeah, this area is quite bimpy. Quite bimpy. Weird, like, this noise actually looks okay. But we get here, where we're, like, multiplying. And we got that eye pattern again. We do have some nice change happening up there. I'd like to go see that. Yes, yes, I know. Okay, thank you. Unreal Engine, thank you. Okay. And so I guess trying to see the zone borders here. I guess like this would be this red one right here. Interesting that the red is more smooth than the cyan here. The red is just at 1. Well, I guess it's smooth because it doesn't have to do any blending, that's why. So all these chunks are 1, and blending between the altitudes of the neighbor chunks is a lot smoother than this. And I guess like the less smooth it is, the less this kind of pattern pops up. Okay, so we've tinkered with the noise a little bit. I think it's in a fine state. We're probably going to end up tinkering with it some more, but I need to figure out that noise pattern a little bit. Yeah, so let me look at some of those values. And these are just like random points. Trunk altitude and altitude modifier. Wait, I'm getting zeros? What? Why would that be 0? I'm lerping between 0 and trunk altitude using alpha. So I should probably log alpha as well. Yeah, like I'm picturing like something like this, going in between zones of different altitudes. It'd be sick to get that to happen. Okay, show me the number. Show me your numbers. So altitude modifier. Alpha is 0. Alpha is 1. I guess I'm doing it for the coordinates or the vertex at 0, 0 as well. So yeah, that would make sense that the alpha is not correct. Because I can't log every single one of these. Not log every single one of these. Because the engine would never finish starting up. The game would never finish them. I mean, maybe I can just put a breakpoint here and see some values if Ryder is nice enough to me. Okay, so undeclared identifier chunk coordinate. Nice, nice. So we have, and what point am I on as well? Okay, so I'm at 6,000, negative 6,000. This is for, okay. So this is the top left point of the chunk, one chunk to the right of the 0, chunk. Chunk altitude is 0.4. Okay, sounds good. Distance. I should probably just fucking add all these, shouldn't I? Show me the next one. So, Ryder, I really wish. I really wish I knew how to use a debugger better. I have been a print statement Andy for a decade now. And Ryder has forced me to learn how to debugger, and it's quite nice. But it just doesn't always show me the values of every variable. And so what I'm doing here, not that one, this one. So essentially for a point, I get its distance away from each chunk's center point. I get the distance, and so like this point to here, and I lerp based on the max value, which the max value is this distance, which is less than this distance, and so I'm thinking anything like on this side, any vertex on this side, it's going to be 1, or it's going to be 0, because we do a 1 minus. I take the distance and I divide it by the max distance, which is the length of a chunk. Now, chunk center to a ordinal direction chunk is longer than the chunk length. So I lerp between that distance. Get the alpha. And what does alpha look like here? 0.29. And alpha is a value between 0 and 1 to be used in my lerp when I'm determining how much of this chunk's altitude should apply to this vertex. No, I'm just adding all of these up, and that's getting me an okay value, which is weird, because I thought I was going to need to use an average before, which is why this is named this way. It's not actually an averaging. I'm just adding up each lerped. It's really like I guess what I'm attempting to do is like a weighted sum of altitude values. And the chunk altitude is 0.43, and chunk altitude is a value between 0 and 1 as well. So I guess I'm expecting the vertex altitude, the final altitude, to be somewhere around there, right? Depending on what its names are. Coordinate. Yeah, I am doing the closest distance. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, my lerped value. Alpha. What is my? I need to see distance. I need distance. Are you never going to give me distance? I'm going to be very sad if I cannot see it. I would really like to see distance. So the alpha is like 0.29. Am I calculating the alpha wrong, I think? The alpha seems like it's the most wrong. I'm kind of thinking that I'm just doing an alpha based on the max distance. Maybe isn't all I need to do there. Hmm. I think what else I need to do here. Do I just need, when I'm lerping, rather than lerping between 0 and chunk altitude, do I need to lerp between the current chunk's altitude? Yeah, let me try that, because I will then need to divide. So yeah, just get rid of that. Continue. Instead of lerping between 0 and chunk altitude. Okay, that's fine. Let's copy this. Do A and B always need to be, does A always need to be lower than B in a lerp? Or does it matter? Will it just kind of automatically handle whichever one is lower or higher? I'm gonna think that using the current chunk, or yeah, using the chunk that we're on, and not this should be, I'll say neighbor chunk altitude, a little bit more descriptive. Okay, and so I think I will need to end up dividing this, because it's going to be a much larger number now. But I do want to see what it looks like before I do that. Yeah, everything is super high. But how does our noise look? I'm not seeing any of those eyeballs anymore. Which is what I was looking for. That's a good sign. Look at that. That's crazy. You know, I've always wanted to do another idea I have for like procedural stuff is doing like what games have this? What I'm thinking of here. I think there's one in, I forget if it's Breath of the Wild or I think it's Breath of the Wild has one where there's just a giant maze on the map. And like you can see it, and it's like off the mainland. It's like in the middle of the ocean. And it's like a giant maze. And so I want to do like a giant procedural terrain maze at some point. And so these edges would be good for that. But yeah, that's really high. So let's then divide this by the number of locations. So I think I might that divisor might be too much. I may need to cut that in half. Because if you think about it, even though I'm adding up every neighbor, like this one is never going to be affected by these ones. Really only going to be affected by these three. So I may need to take that divisor down a little bit. Oh. Uh-huh, okay. It is interesting. Interesting, okay. That is not something I expected. It's weird how it's like actually there's no seams or anything, but it's also not matching up correctly. Odd. Very, very odd. Oh. Okay. So just like in the middle of a goddamn chunk. Is the divisor's not doing that, is it? Let's just divide by 4 here. What happens? No, that's the wrong. There we go. Huh. These ones over here look okay. Yeah, I guess where the noise changes drastically. Like, what is the noise on 4.2? What is the noise? What is the altitude? 4.2 is 0.39. 43.37 or 47. Yeah, 0.39 to 0.25. Like that's a pretty sharp drop off. Is my curve responsible for this? Is my curve too sharp? Because it was like what is this one? It was 0.42, 0.41, 42, R2D2, 4232, 41, 4232, 41, 41. Yeah, 4.2 to 4.1 goes from 0.39 to 0.25, which is pretty sharp. 0.25. What did I say? 39. Yeah, they're not taking into account all the roads. So I think maybe my max distance needs to be longer. It really needs to be scale times 2, right? To take into it, because it needs to take into account the other side, and I think that's why it just drops off so fast. Because it's not taking into, like, this one actually does need a little, it needs to take into account this one, I believe. Otherwise it'll just drop off. I need to take my max distance up a little bit. Okay, that looks worse. That was not the right answer. I think I gaslighted myself into thinking that was correct. Yeah, these ones are all fine because they're all very near the same values. So, wait, was it my curve then? Hang on. Oh, wait. Okay, so not times 2. Was it my curve then? I mean, it was like 0.25. Like right here, point like 39. And it should be interpolating nicely. Yeah, let me look at those values. Let's throw a breakpoint in there. Alpha 0.29, chunk altitude, chunk modifier, or altitude modifier, right. The altitude modifier does seem, yeah, if chunk altitude, I also want to add this one, of course. But anyway, what is an inline watch? Does it matter? I don't think so. Of course, I can't see the value. Reason I can think of is the alpha beings, and that's why the opposite side chunk just doesn't affect it. It should. And the max. So a horizontal distance is 12,000. That's how big a chunk is. So from one chunk center to the other is 12,000. Times 2 is this distance. Now, I guess the diagonal distance would be 12,000 squared, the square root of 12,000 squared times 12,000 squared. But I think I said was like 100 and, what was it, like 14,400? What if I did 14,400? I'm going to multiply that by 2 here in a second to see if that's any better as well. And that didn't seem to make any difference at all. Okay, times 2. Yeah, that's worth. So 14,400 looked okay, and so did 12,000. Just dividing by 4 isn't affecting it. Okay, yeah, that seemed to make it worse as well. Although dividing by that much seemed to put my altitude, so I think I do need to divide by that number. Because it does seem to put my altitude back down to where I was anchoring it at. So I think that is correct, but I've replaced my patterns with very sharp drop-offs. And I suppose that's because each vertex in this quadrant is only taking into account these 3 altitudes. It's not... Well, considering the other one. Which is weird because I would have thought increasing the max distance would have been like the altitude is correct. I'm just not doing my weighted average correctly. I guess I did 12,000 because from this point to here is 12,000, and when there's a point in the center, I want it to be like, I want that to just basically have all the weight. What if I got rid of center? Okay, we have some gaps. Yeah. Same issue. I guess 14,400 times 2 isn't necessarily the longest path, right? Because it's really from like down here to up here would be the longest. So it's like 14,400 plus. It's 14,400 times 1.5, which is what Copilot tried to tell me at one point. So it knows things I don't. Damn it. Okay, so we still have this problem. And we actually have some gaps now. Why? And if I take center coordinate out here. That doesn't seem to help, or do. I really would have thought this would have helped. Because yeah, points down here in this quadrant were not, in this half we're not taking into account this one. Those would have been 0, the alpha would have been 0 there, so you do. But even when I increase that, let me make sure 14,400 is the right number here. So let me actually do the math here. So it's square root, the capital one. What? No, that's not what I want. Square root of, this will just be, chunk size, f math, not square root, sure. Chunk size squared times f math square chunk size. That should be my diagonal distance, and then I said I wanted to do times 1.5. So I want a half of that to account for the vertices on the other side of the chunk. Okay, so it's not right. I mean, I guess. I mean, I'm not getting the straight fall-offs now, straight sides, but like these ones definitely do not fucking match up. You know what I should do? Do I need to filter out the zeros and not divide by that much? But they should be, there shouldn't be any really zeros, right? If I've calculated my max distance correctly, all of the neighbor chunks should be being included. I just did something like divided by one less than the number. Probably not right. Let's see what happens. Okay, yeah, so that makes it way too high. Can't do that. Can't do that. So if there's little gaps or seams in between chunks, like guess it's not, is it not weighting them correctly? Because like a point like right here on this edge would have a little bit of this in it, but it should have mostly this. And we're lerping between chunk altitude and neighbor chunk altitude. Using that alpha. What happens if I swap these? Anything interesting there? Okay, I'm back to having the sharp fall-offs now. Okay. Okay. Now I'm back to having gaps. But no sharp fall-offs, because they are appropriately taking into account. I guess not appropriately, but they are taking into account each neighbor altitude. This is a really hard problem because there's so many points that it's like really hard to visualize that you really have to just like step through the code in your head. And also be good at math. Now, I feel like this should work. You know what? I wonder, let me take my offset off. I think that might be the problem, actually. Because it's applying a flat offset to each, based on the chunk's altitude, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, it's doing the average height multiplier. Okay, so yeah, that twas not the issue. I think I might also take just the curve off of it as well. And let's just do. Yeah, we're just going to be adding the just. Gaps are less substantial, more uniform. I suppose is to be expected. It's just like the very edges are not, when I look at it from here, it looks great. I mean, is that because, like, you know, if there's another chunk, like, here, is it, I mean, is the problem just that the edge vertices aren't lined up? If I did chunk size times 1.5. Oh no, we still get the sharp fall offset. Hmm. $1.25? Why not? We're gonna try it. Yeah, it's like anything over a certain amount. If I just did 1440 without any, I say 14400. At what point does it go from sharp fall off to gap? At what number does it? So 12 squared is 144. 288. So what is the square root of 288? Or no, it would be 144 times 140. 12 times 12 times 140. Yeah, so add 3 zeros to that and you get 14. Wait, do I add 3 zeros? Or 2? That's definitely not. So it's definitely just 2. Okay, and then what is... Okay. I'm kind of trying random numbers now. I want to find the number that changes Like, what's the limit between the sharp fall-offs and the gaps? Okay, so now we're at sharp fall-offs. And there's no gap. The higher we go, the more gappy it is, but the less fall-offs there are. Still have fall-offs there. Multiply by 1.4. Still sharp. Are the fall-offs getting any better though? Can't tell. I don't really seem like it. And then if I go to 1.5, which I've done before, this is where the gaps start occurring. Right? No. It was max distance times 1.5 that started happening. So 14400 times 1.5 is 2100. Do I need to plus one? Hang on. Do I just need to plus one on the number of square birds per chunk to just take into account one more vert on each side? Okay, see, here are the gaps. We have gaps. If I go 2, 5, do I still have those gaps? .25 is still gaps. And I guess just max distance. Wait, did I still have the gaps on max distance? Because the max distance should be the same as chunk size times 1.5, if I was doing that math correctly. There's still gaps there. So, what was the math here? So 12,000 times 1.5 is 1,800. 14,400 times 1.25 is 1,800. Did I do that math right? I don't know if I did the math right. In any case, I have a random idea. Random idea. Okay, that doesn't seem to have helped. Didn't seem to have hurt it either. I don't know. I thought that would like maybe take into account like one more or text or something like that. So the square root of chunk size squared times chunk, because it's a squared plus b squared equals c squared. I'm trying to find c. Is there an F-math Pythagorean? What's that? Pythag? Probably not. Probably not. But it's weird because, like, by my calculations, chunk size times 1.5 is the same as what my max distance. Let me throw a breakpoint here. See what I can actually, if I can actually see that bad. Hello, please. That never got hit. Oh, I didn't run. Loading. Run it now. Max distance. Of course, I can't. Fucking. I could honestly go outside here. I don't. Every loop. Bro, please, can you please show me max distance, Ryder? Please. If we put a breakpoint there, does it, will it pick it up? Bro, I'm literally processing the line that I'm using it on. Please, show me. UE disable dude, I tried this? Like, do you just do that? And then, like... You do enable? Because I remember you saying this last time. I tried to do it, and I couldn't get it above the function. Semicolon or no? Semicolon or no? It doesn't matter. Nope, that's it. Okay. I hope this works. Because I did try to do this, and for some reason it wasn't, I don't need to recompile the engine, do I? I don't know what the hell I was doing last time that stopped that from working. I guess I was just doing it maybe in the function, and that's why the I would but IDK. Okay, we'll see what happens here. I guess I should have put a breakpoint. Hello. Okay, we'll see if it works, and if it doesn't work, we'll recompile. If the breakpoint didn't even get hit, what is happening? Okay, we're rebuilding. We're just gonna rebuild. We will rebuild. Elliot, how long have you worked as a UE developer? Like as an actual like profession? Because I know you're always coming through with the hot tips. I just do it as I thought you had a project on Steam. I would call that professional. Two and a half years. Just a tad longer than I. Okay. Oh, I can see all my variable values. Thank Christ. Okay, so this number is a lot. Huge passion. You ever like you ever set up like a computer in the cockpit? It's just when you set it on autopilot, you're just like doing some game dev on the side. Max distance is large. You just let the rookie pilot. All right, take the wheels. I got some debugging to do. The co-pilot. That's the word I meant. I was disappointed to find out that you weren't a real doctor, and I was taking advice from you. Then I was excited to hear that you were a pilot, and then I was happy again. Why is this number way larger than I thought it was going to be? It is an order of magnitude. Multiple orders of magnitude. Larger. $12 squared. We'll do the big number. 12,000 squared. And then times 12,000 squared. Square root. The max distance is freaking large. Okay. And I don't... That is not... I'm not doing the distance formula correctly, am I? Because there's no way from here to here is that long. Not the distance formula, the Pythagorean formula. Is it... Am I dumb? C equals square root of a squared plus... Oh, I'm doing times, not plus. Oh, I'm a dummy. Kids, this is why you take more than high school pre-calc. No, my map generator. No, go back. Rid of the breakpoint. What next? Live coding. Okay. Run it again with the actual correct distance. Okay. So now I think if I multiply this by 1.5, it should be the right value. That looks more reasonable. I have high hopes. I have such high hopes. Fuck. Okay, I'm let down again. I've got gaps and fall-offs now. Jesus. Oh, this is the worst of both worlds. Now what happens if I do num square verse per chunk, which should be 240. If I do this plus 1. No difference. No difference. Okay, and so what's the problem here? They still have a sharp line. And if I did times 2, I did times 2. Okay, 2.0. Oh, we got a ban here. Oh. Let's see it. Let's see it. Y'all ready? Correct. You're fucking ready. Blue. Ooh. Yeah, ×2 doesn't seem to do anything either. I mean, I keep swearing that the problem of these like kind of sharp fall-off lines is because they're not taking into account the next chunk properly. But they should be doing that. Okay, so if my max, I think my max distance should be ×1.5. I'm thinking that I really need to, because that number, whatever from here to here is ×1.5, so it's really from here to here. I should, which would be like, if I put this laterally, it should be, it's probably like out to like right there, right? So do I need to get this chunk in here as well? Do I need to go one more ring of chunks? Just multiplying by 1.25 to see what happens. Or maybe should I do something like the max distance depends on if I'm checking an ordinal or cardinal bird. Or maybe the max distance rather should be the distance between the two chunks that I'm checking. Let's try, let me try that actually. That sounds like it could be. Distance between world chunk loc and closest chunk. Let me try that, because this will actually give me a bit, it'll be a bit dynamic, the distance will be. Hello? What? Invalid bounds. Okay, okay. We still have the sharp lines. This actually looks... yeah, this looks okay. Now there's like little holes in every corner, in every center. I guess the distance to center is 0. We're just trying random things. happen? So should it be that distance times 1.5? Hmm. Hmm. I'm feeling like the answer is I actually need to take into account more chunks than just the next one. And that'll be like essentially whatever the... that one. Whatever chunks are within my max distance, which is it's weird that this worked before, but the pattern it was drawing was like that eyeball pattern. It was weird that that worked. Like working in terms of like the altitude was correct and it was matching up. All the chunks are matching up. But it didn't look right. There was a pattern drawn on it. And now there's no pattern, but I can't get the chunks to match up. Just imagining like a circle being on at like here, and like which ones I would need. I guess I think I would need these ones too. Really annoying. Maybe I'll just add, let's add an extra cardinal one here, and just see, I know I'll need more than this, I just want to see if this looks more right. Let's see if that looks more right. More righter. And then let's get rid of that back. What I think should be correct, which they'll have some tiny gaps. They'll have fall-offs. And I mean, is anything wrong with my alpha or my lerp? Handles full numeric range. Lerp. Interp eats in. Yeah, those are crazy. We'll sidetrack there. What is the fucking answer? And I don't think adding center in here changes anything at all. Seeing the edges off by like what looks like one vert is what makes me want to add one to the number of square vert per chunk. That doesn't seem to do anything. Why is it? Well, minus one wouldn't, right? Okay, that ain't doing nothing. I'll abandon my hopes and dreams of adding one there. I'm kind of at a loss here. I mean, I could try to add these ones to it, but I mean, I added these ones, and nothing seemed to happen. I didn't see any visible difference. I'm running out of ideas to try and fix this. I feel like I'm quite close. I really do feel like this max distance is correct, but there's still the fall-offs, which indicates it's not. And they're fall-offs just like. They're very cardinal fall-offs. Like it's just creating a plus. Which indicates that each quadrant has a little bit of altitude being affected by it. It's not affected by the next quadrant in a chunk. And if it stops at these axes, it makes me feel like it's I'm not taking into account like I need to like look a little bit further to like make it match up. But I did that, and it doesn't seem to have changed. I just increase the max distance. I don't think this is going to, so probably just increase the gaps. I mean, the pluses are still there. That didn't actually seem to change. And if I didn't do a multiplier, it seemed a bit worse. Change it back. I'm going to compare that little corner. Yeah, I think that seems a bit better. And then if I go to 2... I mean, that is even smaller. And so if I go to 2.5, does it get smaller? I just keep going up? It's not going to make a huge difference. I mean, I do think it made a difference. But it just makes our gaps. Or gaps. Okay. What if I just do times 5? Does that completely get rid of that? Not completely, but it is like the smallest it's been. Whew. Yeah, and doing a dynamic distance seems hmm. If I just do chunk size, that was like my very original implementation of using chunk size as my max. Hmm. Thank you. Those out. Yeah, I mean that is kind of what creates the hmm. But there's no gaps now. I wonder, is my... That solves the gaps problem, but I mean, as we've found out, the smaller the max distance, the less gaps we have, but the higher our bridges. Hmm. what's happening at these edges here? I mean, it's something like, once the vertices cross over the halfway point, they start taking into account, they start weighting more the altitude of this chunk in comparison to the chunk on the opposite side, right? And I guess the reason it's so apparent on these chunks is because there's a large difference. So let me check. What chunks is this the most apparent on? It definitely seems to be the ones that are around 0, 0, which is this chunk. Goes from 0, 0 is 0.48. Goes down to 0.41, 0.45, 0.46. The one to its left is 0.5, which is only 0.2 higher. Step through some values, I suppose. So these will be the chunk 0, 0 values. What vert are we on? World vert location -6. So we're at the very first one. We're at the top left one. Neighbor chunk altitude. The current chunk altitude. 0.44. The distance, we're doing chunk size times 2. 24, distance 8,000, so that means alpha is 0, I guess, because... Wait, why is alpha 0? Distance is only 8,000. What? Alpha should be 0.65 here. I may have to take care of this tomorrow because I've got some things planned today. So I'm gonna leave this as it is and hop off for the day. I should be streaming tomorrow though, so hopefully I will see you all then. Thanks for